All right, Torch Relay Challengers. I'm here with Dr. Josh Glass of Georgia Sports Chiropractic here in Midtown Atlanta. Thanks for being with us, Dr. Glass.
Hey, so always good to talk to you and do stuff with Fidipides.
For sure, for sure. So I guess to start off, what exactly is a chiropractor, and then specifically what makes you a sports chiropractor? What are some of the differences there?
Okay, so chiropractor is a physician. It's a 4-year doctorate degree that you take after your undergraduate studies, and we are specialists in the musculoskeletal system, specifically the spine. We're hands-on practitioners. We don't use drugs or any surgical interventions. And basically, we're trying to restore movement and improve function of the human body. As a sports chiropractor, we have additional training and certification to apply those things and some additional tools directly to athletes. And, there's kind of two parts to it. Certainly, I see a lot with athletes that are injured. We're trying to figure out why they got hurt and how to get them better. And we do a lot with performance and recovery, which is, someone's either trying to get tuned up so they can perform better in a race, or they've trained hard, done a race hard, and need their body to bounce back so they can keep going. So again, different hands-on treatments to improve the body's movement and function.
Okay, excellent. So I see in your background some pretty elite looking athletes. Do you mainly just work with this type of athlete, or like what's your kind of core demographic?
My normal day is definitely with Atlanta's everyday athletes. And to me, I think everybody's an athlete that wants to move and be active. So my day-to-day is high school athletes of all sports, runners that are training for the Peachtree, people that are just trying to get fit and work out on a regular basis. And then I do some other stuff. I'm a team chiropractor for Georgia Tech and the University of Georgia track and field. I'll travel with the University of Georgia. I take care of Georgia State and Emory's athletic department, and then the team chiropractor for the Atlanta Hawks. So I do the whole gambit. But nice. The majority of my day is spent with normal guys and girls of all ages that are just trying to stay active.
For sure, for sure. So when should somebody come see you? Is it just when we're broken down and need to recover from injury, or what?
I'm here for injury, but honestly, I would much rather do tune-ups than overhauls. So I encourage anybody. I'm going to say, you see the dentist twice a year, see the chiropractor a couple times a year. It can be in the same boat. We'd much rather take care of an issue before it comes an injury, and we'd much rather keep your running stride smooth and your recovery optimal, and not wait for the wheels to fall off. But in the end, it's the individual decision. Though the line I use with a lot of people I see is, none of us have a trade-in. This is all we got for a body. So the more you can do to take care of it, and I always like to help with that. Definitely.
For sure. I feel like that message is hammered home more and more every year I get older. So I definitely
got to get wiser.
I definitely working on that too.
All right.
So me, kind of weekend warrior type runner, and I think a lot of our participants are also sort of in that camp of sub-elite, but very passionate about running. But as I understand it, you also have a lot of experience with kind of the high caliber, world-class athletes. So give us a little bit of insight into your experience working on like the World Championships and at the Olympics and that sort of thing.
It is funny. A lot of the advice I give the Olympic athletes is the same advice I'll give the everyday athlete, but everything is ratcheted up a notch and a lot more intense. So I've been lucky for my whole career to get to work with some amazing athletes. I ran track at the University of Georgia. I was not that good. I was a walk-on, but that kind of gave me some avenues to meet different coaches and athletes. And then my father was a sports chiropractor in Atlanta, already working with Georgia Tech. So when I got into the office right away, I was taking care of David Krummenacher, Derek Mills, Angela Taylor, guys that were already at the Olympics winning medals. So I got to start working with them early on and start traveling with some of those athletes to national championships. And so the first big trip I made in my first year in practice full-time, 2002, I went out to USATF Nationals, which were in Stanford, and worked with Atlanta athletes. And it's just kind of grown from there. I went to the 2004 Olympics with a local runner, Drew Griffin, whose girlfriend at the time was competing. And I remember just watching the games. I'd worked at the Olympic trials, and, I got to watch Terrence Trammell, a guy that I'd worked with all year, be in the lead and then get a silver in the 110 hurdles, the second silver. And then from that point on, I knew I loved it and wanted to do more. And so I went to 2 World Championships and Olympics with Atlanta athletes taking me there. And it grew to, by 2009, I went on my first trip with USA Track and Field to the World Championships in Berlin. And since then, I've done 11 national teams with USA Track and Field, the last 2 Olympics, and then I'm slated to go to Tokyo as long as it's happening in 2021. So that's the journey. And, again, with the athletes, it doesn't matter whether you're going really fast or just barely going. It's the same impact forces. It's the same injuries. Just for the elites, for them, 100th of a second could be the difference between 4th and 1st. So a little more time and attention is spent to making sure they get every 10th of a second that they can.
For sure. Who are some of your favorite athletes that you worked on that some of our participants might know of?
Terrence Trammell is always going to be one of my favorites, just from a guy that was just such a hard worker. Went to Southwest DeKalb here, University of South Carolina. He was high school athlete of the year, collegiate athlete of the year, won a silver medal while he was in college, was in the top 10 in the 110 hurdles for 10 years straight in the world, and just had a long career. So, every bit of him having amazing success, and then being with him at the 2008 Olympics where he strained a hamstring out of nowhere and didn't get a medal, but came back the following year to win a silver at the World Championships and tie the American record in the indoor hurdles. So from a local standpoint, Terrence, and then another old teammate of mine, Reese Hoffa, different type of athlete, shot putter from UGA. And again, like talking about consistency, he was ranked top 3 in the world for over 10 years straight, which is just crazy. And so I think, I've got favorites that I know really well and get to work with all year, and I've got favorites that I just get to meet up with on the road. So I think each trip I've been on, I probably have a couple that stand out. In 2012 Olympics, Reese was our first medal, and we kind of started a little shaky in track and field, and he was the first guy up and got a bronze. And so it's pretty cool. There's another member of the medical staff, Harris Patel, that's an athletic trainer that had worked with him in college and was kind of his guy on the road, and hanging out with him, the 3 of us bulldogs, after when he got the first medal for the track team, that then went on to get 29 more after that. It was pretty cool. I know we talked about athletes that come in banged up, and we've had way more not successful stories, because you really don't want to be competing against the best in the world.
That's a good one.
When you're hurt. But one of my all-time favorites is Leo Manzano, who's a little 1,500 meter runner from Texas, went to the University of Texas. He made his first USA team in 2007 when I met him and started working with him. But fast forward to 2012, he didn't win the trials. I think Bernard Lagat did. Leo's an amazingly talented runner, but he was always kind of up and down. He would have great races and not so great races, but he made every U.S. team. But he made the team, and we went out a little bit. The team goes out early to meet the Olympic squad. So for 2012, we went early, and there was a Diamond League meet in London. And so we're probably 2 weeks after the games. Meet Leo there. He's like, man, my hamstring is bad. It's tight. It's hurting me. Work on him. He races, and he's last. He's like, I felt bad. I didn't want to push it. I got to be healthy. Say fine. So then we go to the next race. The last big race for the Olympics is in Monaco, and meet him there and work on him. And he's like, I don't feel good. and he just didn't run. And it was myself and, everybody on our medical staff working on him. And he was just being smart and knew his body. And then you fast forward to 2012, the actual games themselves. And he makes it through each round, and he's feeling better each round. It doesn't look good, but he's feeling better. And then in the finals, he started off in the back. And if you watch the race at the beginning, he's not in contention, but the pace slowed. He caught up and then had a huge kick to win a silver medal, and that was he persevered and he ran an amazing race. And hopefully we all helped a little bit, and he was smart. So it was a good example of a lot of us working together, and then him having a heck of a kick to get a medal.
That's awesome. Do you feel like most elite athletes are kind of like that, have a good awareness of where their body's at and can sort of dial back when they need to, or do they kind of just go hard until they break and then you have to kind of reel them back a little bit?
I think most of them do, but they're all really competitive and really driven. I think the ones with longer careers are naturally better at that, realizing, at the very least, diminished returns. Like, what do I have to gain from this workout or this race compared to my big goal for the year? But some of them are just all go, and they usually are hurt more and frustrated more. So it's certainly a good habit that I think any runner, any athlete can pick up is listening to the signs your body gives you and knowing when to hold back and when to hit the pedal.
Yeah. I think regardless of speed, every runner takes it a little too far every once in a while and can kind of like have a setback that they.
I mean, what I tell any, like the group that you have now, I think this torch relay is amazing. It's the coolest idea. And hopefully everybody's fit enough to log the miles. But the one advice I give anybody is, if something hurts so bad that you're limping, don't do it. You won't be able to keep training for your goal. You can walk, you can bike, you can do other things and cross train. So I think that when you got a goal in front of you, don't ever push to that point where you're changing your stride.
For sure. So of our participants, probably we've got some people kind of sprinkled all over the states, but probably half are local to the Metro Atlanta area. So for those people, how do they find you? Like, when should they reach out to you? Like, when is a good time for them to kind of start seeing a sports guy?
Well, I mean, what I'll tell anybody is the most important thing for any athlete is to have a daily routine, to have habits that are good for them. Their stretching, their strengthening, their hydration, their nutrition. So I'd always say, first and foremost, get your daily routine as dialed in as you can, because that trumps anything. But I am here to help in any way possible. So Georgia Sports Chiropractic that my father started. We're on 4th Street in Midtown, just north of the Fox Theater. So you can go online and give us a call. Anybody that has a nagging injury or something, or persistently gets hurt, don't wait till it happens again. See a sports medicine specialist that works with runners. Or those that just want to, again, get that tune up like your twice-a-year dental plan is I think, I'm all for saving money and being frugal, but I feel like our health is pretty much as I get older, especially, the most important asset. So not necessarily just seeing a chiropractor, but a massage therapist, a PT, a dietitian. Those are the best dollars that you're going to spend, because I want everybody to keep running their whole lives. I want to run my whole life. So you're always looking for what can help you with that, in addition to your daily routine.
So you're saying we can't just have terrible habits in our daily life and then you come solve all our problems?
I'll do my best, but it's not what I would advise.
Yeah.
I mean, I think back to running in high school where I would, and I'm sure you did it too, no warm-up, no dynamic warm-up, starting out way too fast, finishing, not stretching, and you'd feel bad, but you kind of laugh it off because you'd be fine the next day. So that was not smart then. Now it's catastrophic. But it's again just having those good habits. And so I'm glad now that high schoolers are way smarter than we were back in the Stone Ages when I was running for Wheeler in Marietta. They a lot more, have a lot better runner IQ, we'll say.
For sure. Well, thanks for taking the time. To all you participants, I've seen Josh multiple times over the years, and he's gotten me uninjured. He's kept me injury free. And so if you're in the Atlanta area and looking to continue with the healthy, injury free running lifestyle, Josh is definitely a good resource for that. So definitely check him out. So Dr. Glass, thanks so much.
Thanks a lot, Sloan. Hey, good luck with the relay, everybody. And Sloan, let's get you back in going after some money on the roads again. I think
Let's
you're
do
ready
it.
for it. All right,
Thanks,
thanks a
Scott.
lot, y'all.